So we gonna handle this like the light work that it is.
You've sacrificed your whole life to get here. And you're like, yeah, I played 10 years in the league. And I always explain this to people, like, bro, you give somebody a 5-year, $100 million contract, right? What is it really? It's 5 years for 60. You're getting taxed. Do the math. That's 12 a year, that you have to spend, use,
Save,
invest, flaunt, like whatever, however, just being real. I'm gonna buy a car, I'm gonna get my mama a house, I'm gonna do, everything costs money. So if you spending $4 million a year, that's really 40 million over 5 years, 8 a year, And now you start breaking down the numbers, it's like, that's a 5-year span of where you're getting 8 million. Can you make that last forever? And you always hear the people who ain't us and ain't been in the position, like, oh, well, that would last a lifetime. Yeah, this job that I sacrificed my whole life for, they are giving me that. I didn't ask for the certain dollar amount or whatever, but we weren't taught about no financial literacy and all the way. We weren't.
talk about it all the time.
It's dissection time. This is gonna be light.
You've sacrificed your whole life to get here. And you're like, yeah, I played 10 years in the league. And I always explain this to people, like, bro, you give somebody a 5-year, $100 million contract, right? What is it really? It's 5 years for 60.
So let's just break that down very quickly. We're talking 60 million for 5 years, net 60 million. The median U.S. salary right now is in the 60,000 range. When you look at the 60 million for 5 years, that is more than $10 million per year. Net. Let's continue.
You're getting taxed. Do the math. That's 12 a year, that you have to spend, use,
Save,
invest.
Let's just talk about save and use first, and then we'll get to invest. So save, that's a lot to save, and that's easy to save. You could chalk out however much percentage you wanted at, and you'll still be just fine. Even you as a civilian you are right now, you could go and put the money that you have in a savings account that yields interest. You could find a interest account yielding savings account. And as a multimillionaire, you could do that with a big chunk of money and generate interest that is people's whole salary within a matter of months. So that's a less hardcore form of investing as far as saving your money in a savings account that has interest. Now, when we get past that and you go to spending, this is where a lot of the NBA players, NFL players, and all entertainers, they just mess up. This is basic white belt financial literacy, rich dad. Oh, I just discovered rich dad, poor dad shit, right? You don't live above your means. And somebody who lives above their means when they are poor, when they get money, they're just going to raise their means. What you need to be doing, and it's not hard if you're getting 12 million, like 12 million a year is what he said. It's not hard if you're getting 12 million a year. Why don't you and your accountant come together and budget to where you only spend 5 million? As far as the lifestyle you live, you don't get a house, you don't get a car, you don't get anything to where any of those situations can have an emergency to put you over 5 million. Because when we start talking about eating, taking vacations, going to Turks and balling out, you don't have to spend 5 million to live an incredible life. Every single year, you don't have to spend 5. So that's saving and spending. When we talk about investing, that is the biggest crux when we talk about this, because I don't know if it's in a clip. If it's not, I'm going to find it. He said that you can't build generational wealth with 100 million. I was going to get into talking about what wealth is and doing all the statistics and stuff like that. Like, I'll throw one at you. You got to make right now at this moment over 700,000 annually to be in the top 1% of earners throughout the planet. So you don't even have to make 1 million, and he's getting 12 per year. But to simplify it, these guys, you don't even have to have the best financial literacy. All you have to understand is, again, white belt, rich dad, poor dad, financial literacy shit, and understand that You need to have your money working for you. You need to have your money in places where it's going to generate more money. Go and invest in index funds. Stocks is one thing. Go and invest in real estate. That's another. Those are the two most popular vehicles. And you could also invest in businesses. You got the type of money to where you could become an angel investor. Check this out. He says people can't generate, generational. Well, if you look at Chameleonaire and Nas, those are two rappers. Two rappers. Let me say it again. Two rappers, not athletes. They weren't making ridiculous money rapping. But what did they do? They take the millions that they got, went to Silicon Valley, became angel investors, invested in tech, hundreds of millions. Hundreds of these guys are out of here. Nas just, with some investors, with a team of investors, got a casino in, I think, Brooklyn or some shit like that. It wasn't Manhattan. It was not Manhattan. But listen, that is what it is. So just to break that down into one, so we don't got to go all over the spectrum, what these players don't understand is you have to get assets. You are spending money on liabilities. You are spending money on liabilities. Let's go to the next part.
Flaunt, like whatever, however, just being real. I'm gonna buy a car. I'm gonna give my mama a house. I'm gonna do everything costs money. So
And see, this is a big issue with a lot of people, not just black people, but when it comes to black people, as far as athletes and entertainers, this is a big issue. Everybody, we come from a stunt culture. Everybody want to stunt. Everybody want to ball out. Everybody want to floss. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with that if you're not going to go broke doing it, and you're not going to complain about how $100 million fucking dollars is not enough money. If you think $100 million is not enough money, there shouldn't be any stunting in your budget. If you really feel like, if you feel scarcity, if you were like, this is not enough, you should not be stunting at all. You should not be buying anything flashy. The NBA players and NFL players who get fresh in the league, get that first check, blow it and fuck it up and all that. Everybody's got that story. And when it comes to that, it's the NBA players' fault to some degree. They're young, naive, stupid, uneducated when it comes to this money shit. I also look at, the people around them, like the coaches, the other players that don't get them hip to the game, that don't tell them, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to the parents, one of the things I realized at a certain point is these parents don't be having the knowledge to give you, because they've never been in a position and they don't know how to get to a position where they're going to have a lot of money, and they're never really been good with money management in the first place. So that's new territory. After you get past that first check or that first whatever, you need to start getting it together. And where Odell is at is he's having the epiphany that, I got to live off this 100 for the rest of my life. And the issue again is you should be, instead of stunting, because you've come to that realization, you shouldn't be this is what you should do. This is my opinion. He shouldn't be doing shit flashy or anything like that until his career is over. And then when his career is over, because he just seems like he has time to podcast, but he doesn't have time for what I'm about to mention. You link up with a financial advisor and some accountants and say, how can what are the multiple ways that I can, make this money flip? What are the multiple ways that I can stretch this shit out? Because you could actually sit down and get it from a book. You could actually sit down and do the research yourself. But if you were a nigga that made 100 million and you think that that's not enough to generate generational wealth, I don't think you're about to read anything. That's just me being honest. So with that, that's what that is. But I want to play a clip for you real quick. There's the greatest chess player right now, one of the greatest chess players of all time, Magnus Carlsen. You don't watch chess. You don't watch competitive chess. But guess what? This guy is rich as fuck.
Why Magnus Carlsen doesn't spend his chess money. Because while he's made millions, he refuses to waste it on cars or watches. Instead, every dollar goes into his own company, Magnus Guess, a private investment machine he runs with his dad. For 10 years, it's quietly pumped out over $20 million in profit, and Magnus didn't stop there. When he did spend, it wasn't on luxury, it was on building Play Magnus, a chess empire that got sold to chess.com for $80 million. And when most champions would retire rich and relax, Magnus raised another $12 million to launch his own freestyle chess tour. He once said, "It's nice to be financially secure. Apart from that, I don't care too much about money." That's why Magnus isn't out buying status symbols. He's turning every cent into more power, while the rest of the chess world just watches.
Now, do you understand what we just watched? Let me break that down for you real quick, just one time, because it's really the first thing is, unlike Odell, unlike NBA athlete niggas, this guy has made millions, and he said, I'm not about to buy the flashy car. Odell said it like he has to buy. It's mandatory that he buys a flashy car. That's how he said it in the video. It's just mandatory that he stunts. With Magnus, it's not mandatory that he stunts. You know what his first company was? An investment firm, an investment portfolio, whatever you want to call it, is his investment company, and he just invests through that company. Guess what that company did? 20 million. It generated 20 million profit. 20 million. And see, if you are focused on investing the money and you actually get some good investments, right, that give you a profit or yield some returns and things of that nature, then guess what's happening? You now know how to make money yourself off of the field, and it has nothing to do with you playing chess or playing football. You know how to make money outside of your football talent. Millions. And you could do that until you're 60.
At this point in time in life, it ain't about just being an artist. It's about your whole setup of life. It's Monopoly. It's chess. It's like how you setting your whole life up. The smoke and mirrors. For me, I identify success with the overall, your personal life and your business life and your artist life. It's not even about what's going on the internet no more, bro. I can promise you that I haven't had a hit and I stopped counting the years. But I've had motion, and the way that I think and the way that I move outside of music and my relationships and the things that I invest in, certain things, like I love music. I do it because I love it, and I do it because it's quick. It's like, to me, music is the equivalent of street money. I can leave here tomorrow and go make 80,000, 100,000 at a show.
Fire.
You feel me? But I don't have a hit. But then I wish, and I'm so grateful for it. Thank you, guys. Thank you to the fans. Thank you so much. And I'm saying that to say, bro, I've evolved as a being. There's so many other things that I'm into outside of music, business-wise, that I don't have I make the time for it, but it's harder because as an artist, you gotta go to the show. You gotta be present. You gotta be at the production meetings. You gotta be, and I wish that's something, like, I'm like, damn, I wish I had 2 days to spare so I can focus on this other business venture. That's about to make me 20 million.
That's where the team comes in.
And so, not for sure, 1,000%. And then, so it's like, it's blessed to have both sides, but where I'm at mentally now is a different place. So it's a blessing to have the catalog, you know what I'm saying, and to have the work ethic, and to also have the self-awareness that protects your energy. So you got the energy to not sleep for, a whole night and still get up and come to drink trams the next day.
That is another example. Mario has been an R&B artist for 20 years, and he understands that even as a multi-platinum artist, which I'm pretty sure he has platinum plaques, music is not the best way to make money long term. And even at your peak is not going to last that long for most artists. So he had to reinvent himself and become a businessman and begin to invest and get businesses. But I want you to know something that you probably didn't catch. He said, yo, if I had time to do but I got to do this business deal that's going to make me 20 million, so I can't Now, he's a musician. What he's saying is he's not able to do his music stuff because the business takes too much time. Nori said that's when one of the people on the podcast said, that's when the team comes into place. When you look at somebody like Jay-Z or Nas dropped like 3 albums with a dude named Hit Boy, and Nas is making hundreds of millions. So if you were making that type of money and you were making investments and things of that nature, but you don't have flexibility, it comes down to your team. You need to delegate more.
Well, I'm going to just say as a whole, on my side vibes, I've been doing real estate, been a major plus for Rose.
Yeah.
Real estate been a major
Crazy.
plus for me. I've been winning in a major way. Shout out to my team too.
Oh, you got a whole real estate team.
Yeah, you know, my sister and my mama, my team.
Word.
And then plus, you know, and I got to shout out everybody else that play their
of
roles. But we've been winning, homie. I'm gonna keep it all the way 1,000.
Let me hip you to something you likely don't know. When you look at Rick Ross and his close to 30 Wingstop businesses in his real estate, his mother and his sister run all of that. He delegated those tasks to his mom and his sister. They work for him. They make all the business moves when it comes to the real estate, the food franchises and all that. And they get paid very well. So it's a teach a man to fish, but, you know, put a man in position to fish type of thing when it comes to that. If you look at LeBron and his team with Maverick Carter and Rich Paul, those are guys that he played high school ball with. Those are guys, well, not even Rich Paul. Rich Paul, he didn't play high school ball with, but these are guys that he knew really young, right? And he made them team members. He put them to work, and guess what, man? All of them are rich. All of them are rich. All of them generate their own money. Rich Paul got hella clients. Maverick Carter, I know he do something important. But LeBron still goes out with all the money he makes, and he dedicates his life to playing basketball and becoming, you know, the greatest player he can be and working hard at that even at these old ages. So if you are, and this is like for mainly celebrities or really rich people who throwing around a lot of money, if you don't have the flexibility to do other business ventures or the main business venture that was getting you the money, you probably need to delegate more tasks to more people and shave some money off and pay those people that you delegate so that you can have more flexibility. I'm going to stop the dissection right there, but I am going to say this. Odell Beckham has a luxury car collection of Lamborghinis, Rolls Royces, Mercedes-Benz, and it's not 3 cars, it's multiple models of each type of car, and they're custom. Lamborghinis go anywhere from $200,000 to $600,000. I don't want to look into what his house look like or anything like that. If you got cars that cost that much and you worried about flaunting, but you're not really secure on how you're going to get money after your career, how you're going to get money outside of football, sell those fucking cars, because you don't need to be spending that much money if you think 60 million is going to keep you broke. That's just real talk. If you think 60 million is going to keep you broke, yeah, you need to shut everything down and get the education. You need to get the education. You need to get people with the education to educate you. Because you don't have to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You can actually go and talk to Robert Kiyosaki. You got the money to do that. Like, you could go and get the financial literacy from people who teach it instead of just reading a book. And outside of that, you need to figure out how you're going to invest in these businesses or what businesses you're going to create, you know, things of that nature. You need to figure that out. That's what Odell need to figure out, man. And if you made it through this video and you one of them sports gambling motherfuckers, or you be going to the casino, or you be buying lottery tickets, you be playing to Mega Millions, or even if you do anything to where it's possible one of your businesses or whatever, one of your ventures could have a big money boom. If you watch this whole video and you ever come into that big money boom, you better not fuck it off.